Hello everyone, welcome to this plan with me. I am doing a plan with me in a print pression A5 wide spiral, and I'm using the Meadow kit. I am using a mini kit and a couple of the add-ons along with a very few selection of foil items, and basically I wanted to do a very functional plan with me using our stickers, and this is in a work planner. So I'll kind of go into my idea of how I wanted to set it up, but it's been really working for me. I've been using this for 4 weeks now. This was my first spread. Actually, I guess it's 3 weeks now, but this was my first spread and I really love the way it turned out. It's very minimal, like I said, on the foil, and very, very functional. So I did ask on Instagram for questions, and I'm going to be answering them throughout with pauses to kind of talk about what my idea was for the base of this planner. I guess this was the second week that I used this planner because I could see the other week behind it. I don't remember what kit I used. Maybe it was Dark Shines. So I think maybe I have been using it for 4 weeks now. So I love the new format with the split bottom washi. I'm really excited in my planner to get to the new format, and then I never have to cut bottom washi basically ever again. It's so nice to be able to just peel it up and stick it down, and it's a perfect cut every time. I've been cutting my bottom washi for 3 or 4 years now, and this is just revolutionary to me, I guess. But yeah, so I guess I'll go over my idea for the spread first, and then I'll get into the questions just so I don't have to stop them. So my idea was to kind of do a no white space look. Does that make sense? Maybe, I don't know. I guess I did from no white space planning to white space planning to bougie planning with bougie boxes. And I'd say that this is if no white space and bougie boxes had a baby, because what I did was on the top I put ombre heart checklist, which we do have as an add-on item for the new format kits. I have 2 of those, and it's perfect for having the 7 days and then one checklist on the sidebar. I put tasks that are kind of changing up top, and then I put a row of full boxes, and then on the bottom I did a bougie box, and then put tasks that are pretty standard, like the videos that I want to go up, the reels I want to go up, and then tasks like payroll, listings, emails, things like that. And this is a work and home planner, but most of the tasks at home are kind of day by day. I don't need to plan them necessarily, except for maybe placing a grocery order, and I also put my meals in there as well. So that's the idea. And if you guys have any questions about the spread itself, let me know in the comments down below. But I did use a mini kit and then some extras and just a couple of foil items, like the bougie boxes, the bow 15mm overlay, the date numbers, and some mini icons. I think that was everything that I used. So let's get into the questions. I'm going to start with my first question first, which let me see if I can find it first. But I actually had to do a little bit of research for it, but I thought it was a really fun question. And I kind of answered it before, but I don't know where it went. Anyway, so I guess the question went something along the lines of what were the top selling kits, doodles, and foil bundles of 2021. And I thought that was really fun, and I had to do a little bit of research for it, so I have all of the answers on here. I did mention in my stories maybe a month or 2 ago the top selling kits of last year, but I figured I'd go through them again. So the kits that were top selling last year were obviously, excluding Cyber Monday and 7-Year because those always sell the most. After that, the kits that sold the most were Batu Bound, which was exclusive art by Kittenish Jess for Galaxy's Edge. There was Magical 50th, which was actually all of these are exclusive art. So Magical 50th, which was also by Kittenish Jess, and that was art for Disney's 50th. And then Park Hopper, which was also exclusive art by Kittenish Jess, and that was an at-home, and it was kind of a collab with Kane, an at-home Disney kit. And then Oh Bother, which was also exclusive art by Jess, which was Theo's 2nd birthday art. So it was Winnie the Pooh themed. And then the 5th one was Grinch, which was exclusive art by another artist that I work for that goes by Dusk on Instagram. It's Dusk, I don't know actually what it is, but it's Dusk something. If you look under who I'm following and type in Dusk, it should come up. Or if you just type in Dusk and you follow a lot of planner accounts, it will probably pop up too. So Those are the top 5 selling kits for this year, and obviously a lot are magical, and I know like there are some people who don't like magical things, but they do sell, and they're my favorite because I feel like whenever I do something that like aligns with my likes, I feel like y'all like it better and I like it better, so it's like a win-win in all ways. I'm like super into it, and it's just so good. So that is the top selling kits. Then let's move into the top selling doodles. I think the kits is the most interesting, and I'd like to like tell you guys that every year because I think I could probably, like if we do another question and answer for 2020 and 2019. I think for both of those I was on Shopify, but Etsy is just like hard to find analytics for, honestly. So I wouldn't be able to tell you like prior to being on Shopify what my top selling kits are, but if that's something that we want to know in future question and answers, let me know whenever I ask for those on Instagram, because I think that that's like a really fun question and like just something interesting to know. The top selling doodles were 1 McDonald's, 2 Chick-fil-A, and those are probably actually more top selling like than even I know based on the numbers, because there's the 2 variations of them, but those are 1 and 2, and then number 3 was the Christmas sampler version 1, and then number 4 was the like sheet called sticker sheets, and then number 5, which the sticker sheets one and the Christmas and the winter definitely surprised me. Like whenever I looked, like I didn't even know. McDonald's and Chick-fil-A did not surprise me. And then number 4 was the sticker sheets, like I said. And number 5 was Winter Sampler 1 and 2. Were like pretty much tied. I think there might have been like 2 off on that one. So those last 3 were actually pretty surprising for me, so I thought it was interesting to look them up. And then the last category was the top selling foil bundles, and number 1 might be of no surprise to any y'all, and that is confetti and matte bronze. And then actually the rest of them were all pretty much surprises to me as well. This was a learning experience for me. So number 2 was Park Hopper and Lavender Hollow. Number 3 was Leaves Bonfire, which I think is sold out, so that makes sense. And that was leftovers of the mystery, but I think I'd ordered more of them because I knew it was gonna be a really good one for like overstock. And then number 4 was Park Hopper and Champagne Lights, and then number 5 was Confetti Sparkly Red, which I think actually might be an old format foil bundle, but it still was like in the top. I think that maybe it was like very much recommended paired with a kit or something like that, and it was a top seller for last year. So those were the top selling kits, doodles, and foil bundles, but that was really fun to like see and kind of just like see what y'all like and what y'all use. So let's go through some of the other questions. There was a lot of them, but I'll just kind of like skim through and pick some. So let's see. A lot of them are like very like I don't know, like I don't have an answer for. Like there's a lot of the ones that are like favorite old SPC kit you created, and honestly, like I don't even know. I have so many favorites. It's like picking a favorite child. It's just like depends on the day and my mood. I don't know if there is like a favorite kit. I don't know. I really like Magical 50th. I haven't even used it yet. I feel like I could probably pick like my favorites from last year, which are probably the top selling ones. And also I really loved last year's anniversary kit. I thought that one was really nice, but also I really love Cyber Monday and like all of the mysteries and all the exclusive art and then some non-exclusive art. It's too hard. There's a lot of questions that I'm just like, it's too hard. Let's see. Do you see SPC expanding to different products again, like air freshener, shirts, etc.? I don't really plan to go into any other products. I feel like for a year I was really like experimenting with different things, but then I realized that you put your eggs in too many baskets, and then I feel like the core products that y'all are looking at me for were like not suffering, but they weren't as like, I didn't pay attention to them as much because I was too busy like worrying about everything else. I do like, it is an actual goal for me to get like merch, like shirts, sweatshirts going, because I would just do it like drop ship, so it wouldn't be any like work for me, you know what I mean? And I would price them like affordably as so. But I just like haven't got around to it, and I've ordered samples and I have that already. I just haven't like gotten to it yet. So I don't plan on doing any different products, but I do plan on eventually doing like shirts and sweatshirts and things like that, but nothing like other products. Like my plan for SPC as a whole is to stick to what we know, I guess, and that is stickers and foil basically. The next one is how many total employees do you have? And besides like me and Nick, which I do a lot of different things. And then Nick does a lot of the like financial side, which is like a whole job in itself. There are 3 people who work at SPC. The next question is, what is the most fulfilling part of your job? Oh, this is hard. I think seeing the spreads. I think that's my favorite part of the stickers aspect of it, is like seeing the spreads and seeing everybody use like the stickers that, you know, I've worked with the artists, and then like I make them into the stickers, and then my team produces them, and then seeing them purchased and then in a spread. So like the whole thing basically. But I think that it's really fun seeing somebody else like enjoy something that I'm selling and like using it in a spread. I don't know. I think that's fun. And I think that it's like one of those, I mean, there's a lot of different like types of products that you get to see that, but not a lot. Like if I made toasters, like you wouldn't really get to see as many people using their toaster. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely like a different, because I guess it's like a creative product. So I think that's the most fun. And I think whenever I say see the spreads, it's like how different people use them as well, which I think is really interesting as well. So then the next question is, what made you want to start SPC? So I didn't like plan on starting SPC. I've told this story a couple of times, but I don't think I've told it in a while. And basically how it all started was I just worked odd jobs. Like I didn't have like a career. I didn't go to college. Well, I went to college, but I went to college for like a semester, and it was just not for me. But I didn't have like a path. So I just did odd jobs. Like, I worked at a front desk at a hair salon. I was assistant manager at a fitness center, LOL. And I did like web stuff for a used furniture store. Like I just did odd jobs and worked as a hostess. Like I always worked at a restaurant. Like I feel like I would always have multiple jobs, but I always somehow be working at a restaurant, which is honestly like the most toxic environment ever for me, at least. So I was working at the restaurant, which I would say the restaurant that I last worked at was the most toxic job I ever had. I feel like I wish I could go in and like scream at the guy who owned it, because I just feel like he's the worst. Like I still to this day, like I'm bitter about it. And my manager was honestly also the worst. And I don't think that I've ever felt that way about a job before. I feel like every other job I had, like even if there was like negative aspects to it, I never left like as bitter as I did at this job, because I feel like for me, I am always trying to be like a star employee, and I feel like there just never happened because it was impossible to do so. But anyways, then I'm getting off on a tangent. This is just how I work, right? So I was on Facebook, and I don't know how I stumbled upon it, but I stumbled upon like a Facebook group. I think it might have been like EC loves, like Love EC something. I don't know. It was like an Erin Condren like group basically. And I was like, oh, cool. What's that? And then I was like, oh, you know, I went to school like in high school for like web design and animation. And I picked that because I was going between doing web design and animation or graphic design, but whenever I went to the graphic design as a trial, I felt like I knew most of it already. So I wanted to do something, it was Votech, that I didn't know. So I had a background in, you know, like Photoshop and Illustrator and things like that. So I was like, you know what, I can make stickers for myself. And back then there wasn't really a lot of like inspo for stickers. It was just like some full box sheets that were like clip art, like probably not legally sourced. So there was very few shops. I remember there was like Chrissy Ann Designs was back then, and like there was like Lily Henry something stickers, and it was a long time ago, but there wasn't as many. And I was like, all right, I'm going to make stickers. And I literally made them, printed them out on matte paper and hand cut them. And I was selling them on Facebook. If any of y'all remember that or bought from me then, y'all the real OGs. And I would hand cut them with like Martha Stewart mini scissors, the ones that I use in my Plan With Me's. And I would put them in a baggie and sell them. And I would literally be up all night, like with my regular job too, just cutting stickers. And then, I did that for a long time. And then I switched to digital, and I know a lot of people bought those, and I still have people that message me saying I have the OG file of the heart checklist, which is kind of where I started, was the heart checklists, the ones that are on the functional page now. And they're like, yeah, I still have those, which is just wild to me. And then Nick was like, Andrea, you can't do this the rest of your life. Like, or you can't, like, this is not sustainable. So let's look and see if we could find something that cut stickers. I remember when I got my first silhouette, I was like, Nick, this is horrible. I am never going to figure this out. And I was like ready to return it. And then he figured it out for me. And then I used to sit in Nick's sister's room, like she was off at college, and I had like on her dresser, I had 2 silhouettes and 1 printer, and I would just sit on this little IKEA desk and just print and cut stickers all day long, and then go to work and print cut stickers all day long. And that was my life until I had enough of working at the restaurant. And I am always like, I give 2 weeks or more notice, but I walked out of that job. I have never done that. I felt like the most horrible person in the world, but I also felt at the same time, I was like, I deserve better than this. So I left and I was like, I'm going to do SPC full time. And then we moved to Texas, and then Nick started working for me, and then Kirsten came down and started working for me. So it was a very slow build. I think at the beginning, like basically I only expanded as the need happened. And yeah, it's been a long time, but that's kind of how SPC happened. I didn't think like, let's start a sticker company and then just like went through it. I like started at the very, very basic bottom, and there wasn't a lot of information then. Like there wasn't even like silhouette tutorials, like how to make stickers. It just wasn't a thing. But yeah, that was the kind of little mini story of SPC. So there was no like, I wanted to start it. It was just kind of like, it just happened, I guess. Oh yeah, there's the question. What were the top selling kids foil bundles and doodles? The next question is, how long does it take to design a kit? And it kind of depends on the art and how it like flows together for me. But the full boxes can take anywhere from 25 minutes to 2 hours, depending on like maybe my brain capacity for the day or just kind of like how things are going. And then afterwards, it takes probably about another 30 minutes to 40 minutes to change all of the colors and patterns and stuff, and then put it into silhouette. Well, I guess it takes a little longer because I put it into silhouette and then I send it off to Kirsten so she could start printing it. Even if she's not at work, I still send it to her. And then I have to do like the listings afterwards, which don't take that long, but honestly, that's one of my least favorite parts is doing the listing pictures, even though it's like not that complicated and takes like 10 minutes. The next question is, would you ever consider doing another SPC party? And the answer is sadly no on that one. Since I had the last SPC party, I have 2 more kids, and life is just definitely more crazy, and doing the SPC party is like planning a wedding plus every single year, and it's just too much for me to do because I always did basically everything by myself. I obviously had some help from my employees, but all the logistical parts was me doing it, and it's just not something that I can find feasible to do with my current life. And also it just like added on stress for months that I just feel like wasn't super healthy for me. I feel like the like end product of it definitely was very satisfying every year because I loved like seeing everybody, but I also know that like I could go to other events and, other people have to plan those, and that's like easier for me. So I probably won't have any more SPC planner parties. If there was a way to do it where it was like I could just show up, sure. But it's just like the months and months of organization and planning and everything. It's just a lot. Let's see. A lot of these, then I got a lot more like, what was the best selling kits? Let's see. Again, more questions where I'm just like, I don't know. Let's see. Does it bother you when shops copy you? I feel like in the very beginning, it bothered me a lot. But then you just realize it comes with the territory, and it just means you're doing something right. So I feel like maybe it bothered me the first 2 years. And it's only bothered me if it was like a blatant copy, not like an inspired situation. Do you know what I mean? But now it doesn't bother me really at all, just because it just means I'm doing something right. And that's kind of what, if any of my friends say something like that to me, like, oh, this person copied me, and I'm like, it just means you're doing something right. And it's just what happens. If somebody's like blatantly copying you though, where it's like not inspired or not something, like for me, a lot of things that I end up making end up being like a staple in a kit. So I like understand that if I'm putting in a kit and a lot of people end up liking it, like other shops will have to do the same or like reformats. But if somebody like is copying an exact design. I think it more goes towards art and not functional items. Then I think that that's kind of shady and sucky, but like that doesn't happen to me very often, so thankfully. Let's see. Will you film an updated office tour at some point? I plan to. It's just like the office is a mess at all times because it's very functional versus like aesthetic. Like we don't have like an aesthetic cute office for SPC. But I do want to do an office tour of an at-home office, and I also want to do more reels of like behind the scenes. So I think that maybe I can do like small sections and areas of the SPC's office as behind the scenes and reels versus doing a whole video of it, because like I said, it's just not pretty. It's more like functional warehouse vibes, but like not. Does that make sense? So I feel like that's what's kind of like pulled me back from that. Do you use Silhouette still, and how many printers and cutting machines do you have? We use Silhouette still. I tried switching to like a bigger machine, but it was honestly just a pain in the butt, and it was probably one of the things where I should learn how to do it, but like the learning curve is just worse for me than just dealing with what we currently have. And the Silhouettes, like we found like all the kinks through them, and like they work. And how many printers? We have 6 printers. We actually switched printers 2 or 3 years ago. And you really can't tell the difference. Actually, they're just 100 times better. They print way faster, and I think that the print quality is better because they're more expensive printers. And I had used the same printer since I started, and that was just like, everyone always wanted to know what printer I had. And the reason why I never said what it was is because I didn't want them to sell out if I needed more, basically, because they weren't like a high quality printer. They were just like a printer that I bought that worked really well. It was like a brother printer. They don't even sell them anymore. And ink got impossible to get, so I had to switch. But I used to have like 28 or 36 of them. I know we had them in like quantities of 6. But we used to have that many, and now we can do the same with like 4, because before it would take like 5 minutes to print a sheet, and now it takes like 48 seconds to print a sheet, which is just like wild because the quality's better. But it's just this one was made for more high quality fast printing. So we have 6 now, and then cutting machines we have 12. I think that they could use 2 more, but the way that they work, they like cut, and then as they're like the machines are cutting, then they're like checking for misfits of the last round, and like then whenever it's done, they're like loading up the mats, and it's like a pretty good cycle. And I think some pages take a little bit longer where they could do 8, but 6 is kind of like easy. What shelf do you use for holding the cutting machines and printers? The printers are on like this wire rack from Costco. Like it's just like, you know, one of those big ones you usually put in your garage, that, because they're huge and heavy. And then the Silhouettes are on the ones that like everyone uses from IKEA. I don't remember what they're called, but like they're just the ones that fit the Silhouettes perfectly. Would you ever consider selling printables? I don't plan to ever sell printables. I actually got that question a lot. Let's see, a lot more like, how did you start your shop? Any more special foil bundle designs coming out? Yes, I do. I have a couple more. I think like 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have 4 designed and are on their way. And one of them, like, I'm excited for all of them, but like the 2 are a little bit more specific. But you guys seem to really like the wizard one, so I was like, maybe I need to do some more specific ones. But one that I did, I've mentioned before. I'm getting to the end of the video, and I haven't even, oh no, I got a little bit more. There's one that's coming that is, it's kind of like Sparkle, where it's like more of a neutral theme. Does that make sense? But it's like a little bit more themed, but not really. But like, it's beautiful. Like everyone I've showed is like, wow, very neutral, but like a little bit more themed, but like not themed enough that I think that there's many kids that it wouldn't go with. Does that make sense? I don't know. But it's beautiful, and honestly, like one of my favorites. But also some of the themed ones, I'm like, wow, those are amazing too. So I don't know. But there are more like new designs coming. So stay tuned for those. Then let's see, another question. How many kits do y'all release a year? So I don't know how many we release a year, but like simple math wise, I usually release 3 a week, and if there's 52 weeks in a year, 156, is that 156? Maybe 156, but then I also do mysteries 12 times a year plus the 2 bundles, so that's another 14. And then sometimes I release 4 kits. Normally don't release 2, but like maybe like 1 or 2 weeks a year I do, because I'll have like monthlies or something else going on. So that's the kits. As far as like custom art goes, I work with 2 artists like very regularly that normally give me about 2 per month. So that's 48. And then I have another artist who like floats and does like when they can, which usually ends up around 3. Well, it has in the last year, 3 or 4. So usually I would say about 50 exclusive arts a year, which I feel like is a lot. But those are the most fun for me. Let's see what else. Let's see what other questions we got. How does everything work from start to finish, and how does order fulfillment work? So basically the rundown of how the business itself works is I receive art or purchase art, whether it's custom art or non-custom art, it somehow gets to me. And then I take the art and I plop it into a kit. I make the full boxes, I change the colors, change the pattern. I plop that into Silhouette, and then I send it off to Kirsten, and I also make the listings right when I finish the kit, because my least favorite part of doing the kit, I think somebody else asked that whenever I was like reading through them. What's your favorite task at SPC? My least favorite task is the deco page and the listings. I'm letting you know now, those have been the bane of my existence forever. They're not hard. It's just honestly the most boring part for me. Nothing about my job is hard. There's just like, those are the 2 boring parts. So I do all that. I plop it in Silhouette, send it to Kirsten. Then Kirsten usually prints everything besides like restocks. But sometimes she does. So she prints it, and then the other employees will cut it. And then once it's done cutting, Kirsten will collate it and put it in cellos. And then when it comes to like order fulfillment, I come in once a week and I print all the labels and I print all the slips. And then the next day, because Kirsten gets there pretty early, I couldn't get there before Kirsten. So that's why I do it the day before, so that she could start everything right in the morning. Kirsten comes in and she'll collate up any restocks or anything that there was left. And then, so whenever I go in on Sunday, I print the labels, I print the invoices, and then I'll organize the station for Kirsten so everything's basically ready for her. And then whenever she comes in, she just puts all of the orders together and she puts them in like little organizers. And then I have another employee who packs them. So they stop cutting, like they usually cut, but they will stop cutting and then they will pack the orders. And I found it is a very, very good system. So that has worked. Let's see. I feel like I've skipped around and now I'm like confused. Any sale or special grab bags coming up? I normally don't do a ton of sales. I usually do about 2 a year, but we do have a lot of different grab bags coming out, which is really fun. I have kind of been brainstorming on how to like do different types of destash, because I did do the one in shop that was it like 5 old foil bundles and 5 old matte ones and like a cello, and that sold really well. I think it sold out like in a week. So let me actually pull it up. I have everything on Monday, which is one of my favorite things for like organization for the shop. We've been using Monday for like 4 years now, I think, and it's honestly the best website for like what I do. And that'd be a really fun video, I think. Like that's like basically the most organized part of my life is like keeping this Monday thing together. So basically, let's see if I go into product stock. So what I do is Kirsten has a to-do list, and so do the like cutting, so like I can move things around. And let's say I was releasing like X custom art. If I don't want to release it for a few more weeks and it doesn't need to be cut, I can like move it down and put things above it really easily, and then they on their computer can look and see like what needs to be cut next, so that's always very like fluid and nothing is like set in stone. And then there's also like a restock list on there too, so that I can put in, we need 24 of X kits, and like I'll like stock it then, and then they'll print it and cut it. So as far as like bundly things, we do have a destash cello, which is basically what I've been calling them, which is 4 Misfit Ultimate Mystery Kits, 4 discontinued solid foil bundles. And the mystery kits can be from January 2021 to April 2022. And then I also have one that is a destash cello, which is 4 Misfit mini kits, not mystery. I mean, they could be, but like it's not like specifically mystery. And then 4 discontinued clear foil bundles. So those are the 2 ones that are done and ready to go. I just have to like find a spot to like release them, which is another thing I feel like a lot of people have questions on, is like, when is X going to be released? And basically my like release list goes in order of what needs to be released. So like if something like 4th of July or like Christmas needs to be released at a specific time, but if I have an anytime kit, I usually don't, like it'll move, or like a reformat, it'll move. So like I might have a plan to release X exclusive art, but if it's not like seasonally needed, it might not be released for a while because it's other things, like especially like art that's released to the public that can be purchased by other people. I put that in like first priority. And more DSash ideas that I have is a DSash cello of 10 new format foil bundles, and then another DSash cello of 10 old format foil bundles. So those are the ones that are still in the shop. So I plan to do DSash cellos of those too. I don't know when we'll get to them because, like I said, the to-do list is very fluid as far as like Kirsten just does things and the priority of them being needed. So like right now, the next thing on her list is to get me samples for this week of what is releasing for next week, and then she is currently working on collating up May Mystery plus the extras, and then she's working on something that I need done for Kane that has to do with monthlies, and then after that on her list is June Mystery plus extras, and then after that is 8 years, and then she is putting rack labels on all old discontinued foil bundles to put in orders. And then she has those 2 DSashes to do, and then a couple of foil bundles to collate. But obviously that'll move. So like, let's say I need more foil bundles to release because we've been busy and it just hasn't happened. I would put those at the top. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's all about being organized and prioritizing like what we have to do. But those are the bundles that I have planned. As far as sales go, my next sale, if I do one, it just depends on also if we have the room in production. Like right now has been very, very busy, so I don't have room for a ton. But I hope to do one around my 8 year. I hope to do one then, but honestly, I don't like biting off more than I can chew, which I feel like is like my biggest business advice is just not biting off more than you can chew, and always, what is it? Overperform and underpromise. Does that make sense? Like if you say like my processing time is 1 to 2 weeks just in case, but normally orders ship within 1 week, but I always make sure that if I think that I can get orders out in 1 week, I wouldn't put it as 1 week, and I'd put it as 1 to 2 weeks. Does that make sense? So always underpromise and overdeliver. That's my key business advice. Okay. I think that is all the time we have for today. I'm all questioned out. But I hope that y'all like this kind of Q&A. I haven't done one in quite a while. And this little look into my work planner. Let me know if this is a type of video that you'd want to see in the future, or if you want me to do a plan with me with my work planner where I go more in depth with what I'm doing and not like answer questions during it. Let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I hope that you like this video, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye!